Let's now give you some updates on the latest in the world of business. A market update. The JSE and the Rand firmed in early Friday morning trade as the US dollar reversed some gains. For more on the action on the markets is Rand Swiss portfolio manager Viv Govender. Very good afternoon to you, Viv. Thank you for your time. How are the markets performing in early afternoon trade?
Slightly positive at the moment. We are seeing some holdover from what happened in the US last night, where we had some reasonably good numbers coming out from things like Amazon and Apple, of course, and Meta aftermarket. In fact, Meta's results were spectacularly good. The Rand remains reasonably strong. At one point in time, we would breach the 1860 level. Right now, we're about 1863. In terms of the sectors, we saw the financial sector basically up about, say, 0.2%. Industrials up about 0.2%. And actually, resources leading the way up just under 0.9%. Overall market, like I said, positive, just under 1% up.
Now, on the other end, Alex Forbes has concluded its acquisition of Outvest digital investment platforms from Outsurance. How will this move help the investment managers serve customers across a greater variety of investment needs?
Yeah, look, I mean, it has been looking for acquisitions, and there's been a number of acquisitions he's made recently. The company, Alexander Forbes. Look, I mean, this is a tough environment at the moment. We are seeing people under a lot of pressure. We are seeing, we had some recent numbers coming out around car sales, etc., showing just how difficult things are right now. So it does kind of make sense that in this environment, the strong try to absorb the weaker in order to basically, consolidate in economies of scale, as well as offering a larger, more diverse distribution base.
An SA fund manager survey forecasts that South African bonds and equities will outperform offshore assets in 2024. Do you agree with this? And what would the drivers of that performance be?
Well, look, it has to be, I think a different break from what I would think would be the norm. I mean, you look at the S&P 500 over the last, since 5 years. You're talking about a movement close on 82%. You look at the dollar to rand here over that same period, and you're looking at also, a significant, positivity coming through. We're talking about, the rand going from about 14 to, I would say right now about 1860. So we're talking, like almost 30% here. And we are seeing basically that money, of course, to give us a return of over 100% in the S&P over that period. We have not had anything close to that in South Africa. So for this to happen, it would be a change. Maybe if we see some, moves after the election, that could be positive. It could also be a case of we're not doing that great, but other people are doing worse. That could be an argument to be made. But if you look at the S&P 500 over the last, just the start of this year alone, it's already up about 3.5%. So it hasn't really happened yet. So I would think it's either be, them falling as opposed to us going up, or us seeing some kind of moves in policies like, clearing load shedding and stuff to deal with Transnet will actually happen.
Yeah. In company news, Viv, Sanlam announced the proposed transaction to acquire up to 100% of the issued ordinary shares of Asup Holdings. What's the value of that transaction and how would it work?
Yeah, look, I mean, this is about, I think, 6.5 billion rand. This is obviously, a situation, again, like we're talking about with the Alexander Forbes, situation, where things are tough and, Asup has quite a nice, premium. I mean, it's insurance premium revenue. It has about, more than 5 billion, in gross revenue in terms of, money coming in. So it's a market that Sanlam hasn't been addressing as well. It is something I think that, kind of makes sense in this environment. We want to consolidate for to bring more things under your umbrella, if, pardon the pun, with Sanlam. And it does make you, stronger when things do recover.
Now, Thungela Resources has set up an office in Dubai. What's that move about, and how relevant is it in their diversification strategy?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think a little unusual. It's marketing of natural resources here, or commodities basically, and I think maybe it does make sense. We are in an environment right now where the big demander out there, which is China, is obviously under pressure. We've seen economic numbers from China being weaker. We are seeing issues with China, like with demographics, that shows that this is going to be a long-term issue. It's not just going to be a temporary cyclical issue. And what we want to do, or what they want to do basically together, is obviously have more towards the diverse demand for the goods, so the commodities. I think that is something that kind of makes sense from that point of view. Whether you need to have a whole office in like Dubai for that, I don't know, but it's an interesting approach.
And Pan African Resources released its trading statement for the 6 months ending the 31st of December 2023. What do those numbers look like?
Yeah, look, I mean, we've seen obviously issues with regards to to this trading, with mining companies especially over the last little while. They have been talking about gold output rising a bit. Overall, they are saying that the exchange rate overall was a bit better for them. I mean, 1869 versus 1733 for the 2022 period. Obviously, that's helping them with regards to performance here, the exchange rate. Headlines per share were up quite nicely. There was a revenue up about 23, almost 24%, up to 193.9 million. A volume of gold also increased by almost 9%, 8.9%. And the average gold price was also better. Let me talk about 1,961 per ounce versus about 1,725 per ounce in the previous year.
And Volvo has now decided to put a pause on Polestar investments after the EV brand missed a 2023 delivery target. Signs of an industry in trouble at all?
Most certainly. I mean, even Elon Musk, we look at the Tesla share price down substantially, not just because of the stuff happening with his compensation. He was also talking about the fact that they are seeing revenue not increasing very much, and they have been cutting prices substantially. I mean, they've gone on an extremely aggressive, price cutting, campaign out there. But the entire electric car industry, it's not just Volvo. We look at GM cutting back. Ford's pulled back a production of its F-150 Lightning, which is also it's kind of like its answer to the Cybertruck, like we say. We have seen issues with Rivian. We've seen things like Nikola also basically fall apart. So a lot of the optimism about electric vehicles overall, I think, has been dampened over the last little while. It remains to be seen, just how long that lasts, because even if car companies or consumers are maybe a bit, hesitant or reticent about switching over, you look at governments, look at laws being put in place in places like California and Northern Europe. They're pretty much saying that by 2035 you've got to switch over, and that's like what you're talking about 11 years from now. So car companies, consumers may be hesitant, but governments are pushing forward, and let's see who wins in the end.
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much for that breakdown and analysis. Viv Govender, Rand Swiss Portfolio Manager.